Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Ringside Recap. I am your host, Ninja the Ninja, and let's get started with a brand new week of Friday Night Smackdown. So y'all, we are less than a week or two away from WrestleMania. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, now that it's getting close and close to WrestleMania, I'm not really too excited for this one. Not as much as I usually am for WrestleManias. Like I've been saying for the past couple weeks, I just think that they started hyping this a little bit too early. And then the constant like promos that they do every single week with the same wrestlers that's having the matches, I think that just what makes it just kind of tiresome. Like I know I seen that tonight Rhea and Jade is gonna have their thing again, and then you're gonna have Bailey versus Alexa, and then Trick Williams and Sami Zayn's gonna do their thing again. I mean, you're repeating the same show that y'all did last week. Like, this is WrestleMania season. This is when you need to, okay, do your hype promos, fine. But start bringing in these new people so we don't get tired of the same 20 in rotation. I think that's what everyone is getting mad about. And then, can I do a quick little recap of last week Friday Night Smackdown, when it was finally revealed that Pat McAfee was the person that Randy was talking to, and the whole world was mad. Like, because I was mad too. Because like, Pat McAfee does not fit in no way. And there's no way that you can make him fit that will make sense right now for Randy. It will make sense if you had, once again, bring in Ric Flair and all them. That would make sense. His dad, that kind of makes sense. But when you just add in Pat McAfee, it doesn't make any sense. WWE, TKO, they're trying to make this WrestleMania like celebrity based, like, and that's okay. Like, it's not the first time WrestleMania has celebrities doing all this stuff, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with them doing it or the celebrities, because they're fans too. But like, Pat's not even like, I mean, he's a celebrity, but like, he is already known on WWE TV, but he's never been known in this situation of him doing this, and it doesn't even make sense. If they just build up Pat McAfee somehow during all this, or he should have been like on the announce table with Corey and all them, maybe then they can slowly add him into it. But I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do this. I really don't know. And it kind of makes me worried that this WrestleMania is gonna be a flop, since a lot of people really do not like where these storylines, well, some of them are going to be like at the end of WrestleMania, and how they're going to recover for the brand new storylines of the new wrestling year. But I don't know. So after all that, let's get started with the show. So guys, the show opens up with Cody Rhodes walking into the building and getting stopped by Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis basically just tells Cody, like, hey, I have rules from the higher ups that you cannot get involved with Pat McAfee. And Cody is like, who's above your head? Who's telling you this? And he's like, you know who they are. Triple H and them telling Nick Aldis to tell Cody to don't get involved. So then Jelly Roll comes out and he's like, "Where's Pat McAfee?" Even though we just literally heard Nick Aldis say the same thing. That, hey, he's not here right now, but he'd be back later, and you can't engage neither Jelly Roll because it is a threat to you too, and the main event for WrestleMania, and yada yada yada. The same mumbo jumbo we already heard past couple weeks. So then Nick Aldis walks away, and Cody and Jelly Roll have this own conversation, and Jelly Roll basically tells Cody Rhodes, hey, there's 20 years of friendship, family, love between you two. This fight is not just only your fight, Cody, but I guess he's saying for everybody else's fight too, probably even including Randy's fight. And this like segment makes me wonder, like, what are they gonna do for WrestleMania? Like, is Jelly Roll gonna get involved? Is Pat McAfee gonna get involved? I'm pretty sure they will. I feel like they're both gonna come out like later on during the match at WrestleMania and get involved somehow. I don't know. So then we get Rhea Ripley basically saying to Jade, you know, that she doesn't have any weaknesses except for one, and she was referring to Io Sky, because Jade Cargill, B-Fab, Meech, and all them got involved last Monday, and Jade ended up hitting Io with kendo sticks and hitting her with the Jaded, and basically just beating up Io. And Rhea just goes on and says that I want you here right now, and then Io comes out and Io basically says, I want to fight Jade tonight. So then Nick Aldis come back around. He's like, you know what? Great. We're going to have a match. It's going to be the main event of the night. Io Sky versus Jade. And I'm like, okay, I'm not really too mad at this, but I already kind of feel like I know how it's going to end. That Rhea is going to get involved at the end of this match somehow. So, y'all, the first match of the night, we had Bayley versus Alexa Bliss, and they did not come alone. Bayley had Lyra, and Alexa had Charlotte. Now, this match was an okay match. It was a decent match between both ladies. I enjoyed it. Typical back and forth match. And at the end, you know, Charlotte, Lyra started getting a little bit involved, and Charlotte ended up distracting Bayley, and Alexa ended up pinning Bayley and picking up the win. So that was that match. Then it ended up jumping to Carmelo Hayes and him getting rehab on his knee that he tweaked last week going against Sami Zayn. And also Matt Cardona is there also prepping Carmelo, giving him a prep talk. You know, it took me years to get to WrestleMania. You're going to find your way. You're going to get your moment. And then Trick Williams and Little Yachty comes around and just talk trash. And, you know, like, oh yeah. Trick was like, you lost your title to Sami Zayn. And Carmelo was like, if it wasn't for you, I would never have lost my championship. And them two started going back and forth, and then Little Yachty started adding his 2 cents, just trying to be an instigator. And Little Yachty ends up getting into it with Matt Cardona and end up volunteering Trick Williams to go against Matt later on in the show. And Trick at first was like, what are you talking about, bro? No, I got this. And then Little Yachty kept instigating, and Trick ended up just being like, you know what? Yeah, I will face you later on in the show. So it's going to be a match between Trick Williams and Matt Cardona. And then people who want to know, yes, Trick Williams once again got his mink white coat, white pants, and white lemon pepper steppers. Once again, I'm going to ask for another request to change the color. He's been wearing the same outfit for 3 months. Give him a new color. Go take a Paige and Jay's book last week. She was Elmo. The week before, she was Big Bird. Go make a mink coat out of Jade's closet. You probably get a brand new color. So, y'all, we get a quick little Drew promo. Now, don't get me wrong, they've been doing these promo cuts for WrestleMania literally all for the past 2 months, but I have not told y'all any of them because they really do not hold any purpose for me to really tell you about. And tonight, Drew cut his promo, and this promo was really interesting. So he basically cut a promo about Jacob Fatu. People who do not know, Drew and Jacob Fatu is going to have an unsanctioned match where basically it's like anything goes, no DQs, anything can happen in the unsanctioned match, anything. So he cuts a promo and he basically tells people that Jacob Fatu was basically a jailbird at one point, and he did go to jail. He's been really open about it since what I have seen of Jacob Fatu, been very open and just in a bad light at the time. But then he goes on to say how him being a father, being an inspiration, and basically just tells everybody that, Jacob steals and Drew is going to be an executioner at WrestleMania. So that was it. So then it pans off to Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu is having, or even tried to have, an interview with Kathy, and Kathy asks Jacob Fatu, like, hey, what do you feel about Drew saying these things about you? And Jacob was just like, yeah, I done that, but it is what it is, and it's gonna be me and him at WrestleMania. The whole mumbo jumbo that they do. So then we end up seeing Solo Sikoa and the rest of MFT. Basically, Solo said that Jacob's past make the whole Samoan family look bad. That every time they think of you, they put us together and make us look bad as a whole. And Jacob's like, you know what? It's whatever, bro. Me and you can run it back, and me and you. And Solo ends up just like volunteering Tama Tonga to go against Jacob Fatu in a match later on in the show. So I don't know, y'all. MFT is an okay group, but I honestly think Solo Sikoa should have been by himself. I think he is so entertaining by himself. Definitely his daddy's child. Entertaining. He'll do really good as a singles competitor if WWE allows it. I think putting him in a group kind of holds him back. But I kind of like this segment between them two. It was a good segment. So, y'all, the second match of the night, it was Berto from Las Garza versus Royce Keys. Now, we haven't seen Royce Keys since Royal Rumble, which been months. And this is his first match on Smackdown. And this match really wasn't exciting. It was kind of chill, kind of quiet match. He tried to get the crowd involved, but it was kind of quiet. This was pretty much a squash match between them two, with Royce hitting a spine buster as his finisher and getting the win over Berto. And even before the match even started, it cut a little promo on where he was from and how he grew up. He grew up, in like not bad, but not a so good neighborhood, and his grandmother taught him value. The little story. And that was it for that match. I don't know much about Royce Keys. I know that he came from AEW, and for what I seen or heard about him, he was pretty nice. But other than that, I don't know much, so I really don't have a good opinion about him right now. So then in the cutting to Pat McAfee came into the building, and basically Nick Aldis met him there. He was like, did you tell everybody what I said? And Nick Aldis is like, yep, no one from WWE cannot put hands on you, yada yada yada. So then Jelly Roll ends up coming and telling Pat McAfee, hey, did you tell Randy to RKO me? And Pat's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and just going on. So eventually Jelly Roll literally snatches up Pat McAfee. He's like, just yelling in his face, this mumbo jumbo, this is all you did this, yada yada. Nick Aldis tried to break it up, and Pat McAfee basically you know what, I'm not gonna get any type of advice from an ex-convict talk about Jelly Roll, because he is also an ex-convict himself. And he's like, I gotta go find Randy Orton so I can save the business, and just walks off. This segment, it was a pretty good segment. I do encourage y'all to go watch it. It was pretty good. Okay, y'all. The next segment of the night, we had Pat McAfee, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Jelly Roll. This segment lasted for literally a whole 20 minutes. Probably almost close to 30. Okay, so it started off with Pat McAfee going off everything that he done to Cody, and then he goes going on about CM Punk, because CM Punk cut a promo Monday about how Pat McAfee could get his receipt, and this mumbo jumbo from CM Punk's pipe bomb that he did on Monday. So and then Pat McAfee goes on and says that, Cody can't touch me, I'm untouchable. And then jumps on to Dodge Ram saying, cutting a little advertisement, hey y'all, you get the tickets starting from right now in this moment till Monday Night Raw. You're going to get 25% off on tickets to WrestleMania. And I was like, oh, they pulling. They need those last minute ticket sales. They pulling. 25% off for probably over $1,000 ticket. Just one ticket at that. 20% off is not going to do nothing to that ticket. And then you probably get your own fare to get there. Food. Probably a night stay. You're not even from Vegas. Even hotel fee. That's not even going to cover that. And so then Pat McAfee goes on and on. This I don't mumbo jumbo. It went on for so long. I don't even remember what he even said. He was just jumping from topic to topic. So then Cody came out. Cody got after Pat McAfee, basically recited everything that Pat McAfee say, and basically Cody giving his side of the spill. This thing went on for so long. I can't even tell y'all what happened. If y'all really want to know the detail, I'm pretty sure they're going to clip the whole thing. Someone's going to have a stream, them saying the whole thing. It was really, really long. And it ends up cutting to Randy. Randy ended up jumping Jelly Roll and dragging Jelly Roll to the ramp. Cody went to go get Jelly Roll, but then Randy jumped him, and then Pat got involved. And then Randy at the end hit Cody in the face with his championship belt. And that was it for that whole segment. I'm sorry if I didn't give out every detail. That segment lasted literally a whole 20 minutes. Pat took up so much of the time, I couldn't even remember what was going on. I was trying to focus. But, yeah. That was that segment. I mean, it was a good segment. Probably the best segment so far for boosting up WrestleMania. So I guess we're going to see where this goes to. So y'all, the next segment we had Kit Wilson, The Miz, and GM Nick Aldis, with The Miz demanding Nick Aldis to do something with the referee that ended up getting cursed by Danhausen last week during Kit and The Miz match for the tag team championships against R-Truth and Damien. people who do not know, Miz tried to go for the pin, and as the ref was getting close to 3, his arm somehow started having this pain. He couldn't continue with the match. That somehow distracted the Miz, and R-Truth and Damien got the win. So Miz is demanding that, you know, the ref needs to be fired, suspended, whatever. GM Nick Aldis like, yeah, I saw that what happened, and to make up for all that, what happened if I give one of y'all a match against Danhausen tonight so y'all can handle the curse situation? And they was like, what? No. And Nick was like, you know what? Yeah, that's a good idea. So there's gonna be a match later with them. So, y'all, the next match of the night was Jacob Fatu versus Tama Tonga. And this match was a good match. It was a great match between both men. Great back and forth. The crowd was involved. And the rest of MFT didn't get involved, which was really shocking, because normally they get involved with all their grouply matches between the teammates. But this time they wasn't involved. And of course, it was Jacob ended up picking up the win, but as Jacob would try to celebrate with the crowd, Drew McIntyre just comes out of the crowd and honestly beats Jacob up. Jacob tried to fight back, but it didn't work. And Drew ended up pulling out handcuffs, like extended handcuffs, putting it on Jacob, basically saying, he was a criminal, he belongs in chains, and this, that, and the third, which I was like, you pushing the limit, you pushing it. And then keeps beating up Jacob, tried to fight back, didn't work again. Drew hit Jacob with Claymore, and then he did the future shock on Jacob. Then he put Jacob back in the ring and started whooping him with the belt. And I'm like, oh my goodness. The refs and producers act like they try to stop it, but they don't stop it. They just act like they're trying to get involved. And then Drew hits Jacob with another Claymore, and that was it. That beat up lasts a good 10 minutes on its own. I feel like now WWE is trying to chew up this time because they're running out of ideas. WrestleMania is next Saturday, so I feel like they're just running out of ideas. They're trying to hype up as much as they can and try to get more views and more pulls for WrestleMania. But this little segment, it was okay. It was okay. So the next segment of the night, it was Sami Zayn and Trick Williams with Lil Yachty basically going back and forth. Sami Zayn opened up the show, tried to give love to the fans that liked him, and he said he's doing it for the people who, said I changed their lives and I helped them through tough times. And then he goes on saying to the bad people, saying basically he doesn't care if y'all boo me, he doesn't really don't care. So he just goes on saying that. And then Trick Williams come out, and Trick is just like, yeah, no one likes you because they all like me. You're basically telling Sammy he's irrelevant and he's going to take the title from him at WrestleMania. And Sammy goes back and said, you don't deserve it. You never even been here for even a year, 6 months at the most. And I'm going to drag you through deep waters because you're not a main eventer, Trick Williams. You're just a talker. And then Yachty goes around instigating. And I cannot stand Yachty's voice. His voice to me is literally like nails on a chalkboard. It's nothing against Yachty as a artist or a music producer, cause I actually like his music. It's just something when he just talks regularly just makes my ears want to bleed. I don't know. But they end up setting up the match for Trick and Matt Cardona. And that segment was okay. Alright, y'all. The next match of the night was Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona. And this match was a good match. Contender for match of the night for me. Through and through, good match until the end when Sammy tried to get involved with the match with Trick, and the Little Yachty stopped Sammy, but it cost him because Sammy hit Little Yachty with a haluva kick and knocked him out. And thinking it was going to distract Trick, but it didn't. And Trick ended up hitting Matt Cardona with the trick shot, and that was it for that match. So, like I said, it was a good match. Contender for match of the night, absolutely. But we have more matches coming, so we'll see. So, y'all, the next match of the night, it was Danhausen versus Kit Wilson. Now, I've been saying this for a while. Danhausen needs to get in the ring. I'm tired of this promo situation. And the match was okay. I was expecting more from Danhausen. I'm still on the fence. I think they're just treating him now as just a comedy act for now. I really did not care for this match. But at the end of the match, Kit Wilson was trying to do a top rope move, and Danhausen told him he was cursed. And Pyro went off behind Kit Wilson's back like a little baby firework. Probably nothing to do nothing with him. And he ended up falling off of it, and Danhausen won the match. And then The Miz tried to get behind Danhausen and do the skull crushing finale, but then the lights went off and Danhausen escapes. So yeah, that was Danhausen's first in-ring debut on Smackdown, and I was not a fan of it. And once again, I want to say I'm not hating on Danhausen, not at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, he is a little funny, but it's like, I don't know, I was expecting more. I was expecting more than this, but I don't know. And something I want to tell y'all, before the next match between Jade and Io Sky, Rhea has been jumping B-Fab and Michin this whole night. So, yeah, that went on. So now Jade is by herself. So, okay, y'all. The next match of the night, we had Io Sky versus Jade Cargill, and this match was a good match. It was an okay match for both women. The match was pretty short because they were starting to get over in time. The match didn't even start till like almost 10:50, even later than that. Like, I'm not sure where y'all watching it from, but like I'm watching it, and they had a commercial break, and they put the wrestling match in a little corner, so most of it was just advertisement, and the match was okay. Jade ended up picking up the victory, and at the end, Jade was trying to attempt to hit Io with the chair, and Rhea stopped it before it even happened. And I was thinking they were going to do a little bit more, but since they was over in time, I think they just like, hey, scrap it, just end it off like this and get it going, so they don't lose no money. So, that was the end of the show. And all in all, I'm gonna give it a good, I give it a good 6 out of 10. It could have been better, matches wise. They should not have did Pat McAfee a whole 20-minute rant. That killed the time. That killed the momentum for their show. We really did not need all that. They could have cut that in half. And to me, my favorite match of the night was definitely Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams. I think that match had the most entertainment for me on a wrestling side. And the funniest match, of course, Danhausen and Kit Wilson. Other than all that, the show was a good show. Like I said, it could be better. We're really a week away from WrestleMania. It's on Saturday. It starts at 6 o'clock Eastern. I'm not sure about Pacific for both nights. So hopefully WWE does not do us wrong and give us a good WrestleMania this year. I am very curious to see what this stage is going to look like. I wonder if they're going to put some mementos from last year's stage. And I want to go ahead and say that the Hall of Fame ceremony is going to be at 12 a.m. on the East. Now, Pacific, y'all going to have it at like 7 p.m. People over here will have it 12 a.m. in the morning that Saturday morning. That is crazy. Who's going to stay up to watch that? On the East Coast? Nobody. They're gonna wait until they put it on ESPN or put it on Netflix so that someone else can watch it later in the day. No one's gonna stay up 12 a.m. to watch a Hall of Fame ceremony. Unless you generally like the people. I feel like most people will stay up to see AJ Styles, but we already know he's gonna be at the end of the show. All the bigger people who had a bigger part in WWE is gonna be at the end. So if y'all want to check that out, that is Friday at, well, technically Saturday at 12 a.m. But that was the show for today. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I really hope y'all enjoyed this show, me giving you my takes on this week's Friday Night Smackdown. And make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment if you want to, share with your friends and family if you want to. And I want to thank you for continuing to look at the show and just, showing some love out there. But after all that, make sure y'all be blessed, love one another, and mental health matters. Bye.